Welcome to PetPix Academy Show. I'm very excited for you friends because this is one-of-a-kind show. Expect to meet amazing pet influencers who are going to share with us their story to success. Also pet clothing designers and pet experts. My name is Vasi. I'm a professional pet photographer and your host, and I'm going to be sharing with you in our show a lot of very valuable tips and tricks on how you can improve your pictures with your phone, editing apps and strategy, lighting, also how you can grow your social media and so much more. We are also very proud to say, yay, PetPix Academy Show made it to top 10 in US. This is incredible, but it's just because of your support. The most important, friends, is that all of us, we are very passionate furry parents, and together we are going to have a great time, have fun, enjoy it, and grow. And every time when we press the button on our phone, we are going to create timeless memories and the legacy of our babies. So the show begins. Hello everyone and welcome. This is Vasi, your host. So welcome to PetPix Academy Show. And today's episode will be very different. And you're probably going to say, but why Vasi? So today I would encourage you, be open-minded. Just try to look at things from a little different perspective. And let's see where we can go from here. So I'm very excited to welcome my very dear and very special friend, Allie. So Allie and I, we go back to February of 2021 when we recorded our first podcast episode. And it was about her fur princess, Kitty, who is, has been to commercials and movies, and she won a lot of awards, and she helped us reach top 10 in US podcasts. And since then, we have been doing a bunch of lives. And I'm very grateful to and thankful to you that you are back to the show today. So welcome, Allie.
Thank you. I love doing this with you, and everything we are making happen together. I can't wait for the world to see it all. It's going to be incredible. And thank you for wanting to do this show. This is the first time we're going to talk about this. And all the people that follow Kitty, she has, 15,000 followers when you combine Facebook and Instagram, and they, you can tell if you don't put her picture up first when you post something, nobody looks at it. They want to see her. They want to know about her. And we have something, it's emotional, and it has trauma in it. But we would like to let you know that we try to minimize as much trauma as possible that we share with you. And we want to invite you to go into this with us and to come out with the hope and the resolution that we have. We very much want that. So first of all, just to give you a little history, we've been doing Instagram and Facebook and doing branding, and she's a studio dog. She's an actress. She's had many different situations that she's been able to perform and do that. She's a very stable dog. And one of the things we want to also mention here too is that both Vasi and I are very dedicated to the relationship, your relationship with your pet, with your dog. And we want to consistently, and will be doing that more and more, bring you the very best products that we believe in. And so I needed just to stop here for just a second and say, for 2 years, I have been researching dog food. And I will go deeper into it in another time. But basically, all kibble creates a poison for dogs. And I've done this research, and I started looking for a dog food that didn't do this and didn't find it. And I gave up. And about 3 weeks ago, a dog food company approached me. They gave me a whole bunch for Kitty to try. By the way, she loves it. I've never seen her love a food so much. This is called the Simple Food Project.
Oh, wow.
Two things. It is dehydrated, and you see on there where it says, I don't know if you can see it, maybe on this one, dehydrated and freeze dried. So it's very light, ships easier, so shipping is a lot cheaper. And these people are in Wisconsin, and all of the vegetables, everything in it is organic. They
wow.
source the beef and the salmon and the chicken, it just very homegrown, and I trust them completely that every single thing the dog gets is completely safe and good and healthy for them, and the way it's processed in small batches. So we're going to be leaving the link to these guys. You're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Again, this is just one of many products that Bassy and I want to bring to you and tell you, because our dedication to the relationship of our dog being the best in every way, that's what we're dedicated to.
And I
So
want to also tell people, they may not know this, but I'm like a bear mama, and it doesn't matter our age. But so many times there might be people who would approach me and say, Vasi, can you highlight us in PetPix? And if I don't believe it, or if I don't feel that, again, each of you friends, you can do anything and everything you like, your choice. You know the best, what's best for your fur babies. I only know that whoever I approach, with Allie's help, and I always make sure that they're really good fit, and that they were a company. I thank them, but I just didn't feel that I can mention them either in our magazine, podcast, social media. So like I do my search big time, and that's why I was very excited when Ali found this company, because myself, and this is a personal story, but when I came to this country 12 years ago, I didn't know any better about, eating healthy. So the truth is that I gained over 20 to 30 pounds, which is about, I know, 15 to 20 kilograms for people for different countries for a couple of months. I couldn't fit in my clothes. Then it slowly but surely, I start learning about organic food, about, changing your diet and etc. And so I know everyone knows better, but just sometimes nothing to lose, just to check it out and see, is it a good fit or not? So, and now that's why I'm really excited when you mentioned about the company. And I actually want to share one of the videos, Ali, you sent me with our friends, because she's like so cute. And this is how I remember. It's that you train her very well. In our previous podcast and videos, you really went through a bunch of series of training. It's so cute and adorable that, friends, Kitty can actually open a fridge. I remember, when we showed one of those videos. So Kitty is the superstar. I even remember she is.
She opens the fridge, she gets out what you want her to bring you, she goes back and closes the fridge. So that was a very huge trick. Yeah, she got her championship at 7 months old.
Wow.
And so I want to tell you, I've seen this video a handful of times as we've been preparing for this interview. Every single time I get emotional. She was in her best star role in that video. And again, this is just a snippet of a much longer video. In her mane is very unique. It's very special. It's not really just a coyote mane. She's 60% border collie. So it's a combination of border collie, husky, German shepherd, and 10% coyote that gives her that look. Also Kelpie is very strong in there too. So it's emotional because we went through something, and we were attacked by a dog, both of us. And Kitty came very close to losing her life. And when I picked her up 24 hours later from the emergency room, they had shaved 3/4 of her main part of her body. Her mane was totally gone. She had 4 tubes sticking out of her body. Her paw, they spent 5 hours putting her paw back together in surgery. So she was in really bad shape, and I was incredibly thankful that she was going to live and that there was no internal organ damage. Just recently in the last couple of weeks, her dew claw fell off. It was getting necrosis, and we just had to watch it. And she was in pain again for a few days. But other than that, she came through this incredible. What started happening almost immediately when we got home from the hospital is where she had never been asleep before in dreaming, you know, like where they run in their sleep and they yep in their sleep. She started doing that a lot. And she was afraid to go outside. The attack from the dog happened just right outside our house. And so there, where this completely stable dog was so incredible before, you could tell she had fears. She was darting and looking around her, thinking that she could see things and stuff. And so I noticed all this. I immediately, as she was able to start walking again, and we got the tubes out of her and the stitches out of her, I immediately started doing things again to build her confidence, because that's really a lot of what the dog training, the way I do it, building the relationship, the vocabulary with them, giving them confidence, letting them know that we do have this relationship, and it's not a dominator thing, it's not a master thing. And so I started going through all her tricks again with her, and she loved that, you know, and she already knew them so well, so it was a lot of fun just whipping through them all. And then something I developed a couple of years ago, which I've been sharing with people, is to hold a treat right here between your eyes and get the dog to look into your eyes. When you invite a dog, you know, it's the window to the soul. And when you invite a dog to look in your eyes, something changes. I immediately knew that when I started doing that with Kitty back when she was like 5-6 months old. And then also the other things you can add to that is connecting them to your body, like lay down and she puts her head right here and she looks into your eyes and her body's touching your body. All of that you can lure with treats and stuff. So all of those are great things, and you could tell it was helping her. But I somehow knew that this was really deep, and to give you a really great, you know, beautiful, hopeful thing, a miracle happened actually. A person I've known for 30 something years, he's a shaman, and he was just happened to be coming to Southern California right after this happened. And you know, we've always been connected, always done things. I've done all kinds of earth type ceremonies with him. I've done many things with him through the years. And it was just a complete miracle that he was here. He came and he knew what happened, and he did what he has done with humans and animals for, you know, almost 60 years. He did a dog soul retrieval on her, and immediately you could start seeing the difference in what was going on. And so we want to explain that to you. We want to explain what that is, and who Jade is. So we will also put in the comments and in the postings and stuff, links to his website, links to his Facebook, all of that. So we were fortunate, Bassy and I were fortunate enough, right before he went, he's going around the country doing, you know, the elder travels the country, and he does by the fire, does the storytelling and the healings. And he's doing that. He's almost going in every state. He'll be up in the Northeast in New England and coming down the coast on the east. And we will end in Florida, and we will be in Florida. I have never put my arms around Bassy, and I will be doing that.
That's great.
And everybody, I've had, for all these years, I've had so many dog people, and a lot of them are in Florida. So I'm going to be promoting that to all the dog people. We're going to have the most incredible fun time. So that'll be kind of the 10th through the 15th, around in there of August. But so he's been on this road trip, and he stopped here and stayed here, and we got these snippets of him. And so we're going to start a series of Jade Talks, of Jade talking about dog soul retrieval. You know, one of many things that we are so thrilled to be bringing you. So if you wanted to play that first one, then we could talk about it.
Yes, I will. But I just want to tell people. So when I didn't know what was happening with Allie, And then we started talking. She said, Lassie, I want to tell you something happened to me. And I was very worried. The first question I asked was, are you okay? She said, Kitty and I will be okay. And I was really very concerned, but I'm also very respectful to people's private life. And a lot of you who know me, you know that I know tons of secrets. When you tell me something, it's only between us. So long story short, I had this, Ali wrote an article for our magazine, and I didn't have a chance to read it. But then on the next morning, I had this idea of helping fur babies going through like trauma and grief and etc. And I reached out to Ali and said, Ali, I got your message. I got your message on Facebook for the article. I have not opened it yet, but I do have an idea. I would like to run it with you. And see, and you said, so funny you said, Basi, I just told you in the message that one of my friends, Jade, is here. I know we would like to talk to you. So long story short, I already knew that Jade is going to, around the country, which as we know, America, it's really big. And he will be gone for a few months. And we had only like 1 to 2 days to make it happen, to make this magic happen virtually. And you're actually going to see me very, very vulnerable because I even wasn't in the studio, but I said, it doesn't matter. Vasi with t-shirt, no makeup, on location, it doesn't matter. What mattered was the message. So then again, we started talking with Ali and with Jade, and you can see in the back Kitty. And I was really very interested and very touched by his ways of understanding and being able to reach to fur babies. And first of all, I just want to say, as humans, we do have trauma. I myself didn't really believe too much in it. I never even thought, and you're going to say, Babasi, it's common sense, but friends, as a photographer, I always have the privilege of seeing fur babies from their best or unfortunately towards the end of their life. So my comprehension for fur babies, it's a very different. So I always saw fur babies for a short amount of time and never was able to experience the trauma for fur babies. Such a thing didn't exist in my map. I mean, I knew nutritionists and, health ways of, making sure your babies live long and groomers and pet fashion. And suddenly Ali and Jade are coming to me and telling, Vasi, have you heard about trauma for pets? And that's why I was, we need to think and we have to do something about it. And that's where I'm really very honestly honored to be able to bring this to you. I know that this is not an easy topic to talk about it. I know that a lot of people may even say, what is this? But we know that even if you had fur babies to adopt, they can be traumas you're not even aware, because it happened to me. A fur baby, a lady came with her fur babies 5 years after she adopted her. The doggy was completely fine. 5 minutes later, had a complete meltdown. Nowadays, I can explain it and understand, but 5, 6, 7 years ago, I didn't know any better. Then people who, fur babies who are the canines, or fur babies who help veterans. So there's so much, or fur babies who lost their siblings, fur babies. So there's so many things. I know. So if people think trauma as only your fur baby got hurt, trauma can be in a very different ways around us. We may just, if it was me, I would choose not to see it, but that's where now I want to share the videos. And again,
just real quick too,
yes.
Before you do that, I wanted to also say, you have another thing coming up July 7th, Women Empowering event, which you've invited me to speak at. I will be going into more detail about the trauma and what happened with this dog, what happened to my life as I knew it, and all the hope and the miracles that have happened through that. That's what we want to bring to women, is our stories and the hope that we all have, and the power, the incredible power that we have. So we're very excited about that, July 7th. And I will go into more detail. We also will be doing a series of Jade things. So we're going to go into depth about what it means to resolve trauma at the soul level, in the dream state, you know, at a deep level where you can't just intellectually just make it go away. You know, this is very powerful work that we're all doing.
It is. And I'm very grateful to you for coming on July 7th. It's going to be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, because you live in California. So you're the Pacific time lady, my friend. And I'm very excited because, again, empowering women and inspiring people, it's one of my missions. And so get ready, friends. Again, it might not be your favorite topic, but I know truly deeply in my heart that this will change in a wonderful way a lot of lives. And this is the reason why I personally would encourage you. It doesn't matter, are you watching this as a video version? Are you listening this on our PetPix Academy podcast, PetPix podcast? Just this, it's very valuable for everyone because they're also human. But and that's one thing what also Ali, it's helping me, Pets Are Family, which is another big mission and passion for her and I. It's that we are these very passionate pet parents, and for us, fur babies are our family members. And that's why, you know, we want to go through the extra step and show you there are certain things medically you can solve. And a lot of people may not believe that pet has a soul, but as we know, family member and as humans, we do have. So let's just be open-minded. So do you agree, Ali?
I agree totally. And we'll explain what all that means. It's not as exotic or weird as it sounds. So we will be explaining all this. And, you know, we're very earth kind of people here. So.
If you want to heal the actual problem, you have to go to where the trauma is stored, where it's registered, which is in its dream realm. Because you can tell when the dog is sleeping, it's abreacting in the dream, barking, nipping. It's in the dream realm that it's stored. And that's where the value of this work is that it's possible to enter into the dream world of the dog and to bring about the resolution, the healing, so that the body, the mind, the emotions of the dog spontaneously just dissolve the trauma, and they're back to being whole and healthy, vital, expressive beings once again.
Okay.
It's the same model I use in doing soul retrieval with humans.
Amazing, just amazing. He's amazing. He's such a blessing to our community, and I was so excited. And it's very deep what, you know, the way he described it and what, you know, he mentioned in the video. I can tell you when we had our conversation, I mean, you had to see the notes I wrote, the tears I had. Anyway, you're going to see it through
Next video.
our series, but it was definitely really truly very emotional.
Go ahead. So the thing that I think hit both Bassie and me, it was huge, and you're going to hear me talk about it in this next video. It's not even just the trauma and the soul work that Jade does. Learning and understanding that the dogs in our lives, the soul dogs we've had in our lives, and I'm going to talk about the soul dog in the women's thing that I had, things I was already saying years before I know what I know now, that they are doing something for us. How many times have you heard it? How many times have you said that dog rescued me? The things they do for us. But I am here to tell you we are doing something so profound for them. And once you begin to open up to understanding this, that we are bringing consciousness to them, that they are little souls that are wanting to be more conscious. And we're doing that as humans for them.
Okay, I do completely agree with you that this is, you know, we are doing really a lot of great things for them, not in a way I think that as being pet parents, you know, sometimes we may just have to look at in a different ways to approaching things. And that's where I was very, grateful to Jade to explain it.
Soul retrieval part, the trauma resolution part is huge, but there's another piece here of just understanding this relationship, and how incredible it is and what they've done for us, but that we are so doing something for them. And I think that sends off into answering a whole bunch of questions and pain and grief that people have had, that I have experienced, that people have had in the last 20 years about having this relationship with their dog.
Because a dog's soul, when it has a bonded relationship with its person, that the soul is bonded with the soul of a human and begins to weave into the elements of consciousness. And so the dog progressively becomes more embodied of consciousness. And that's part of the original deal, the agreement, the arrangement between the ancestral dog and the ancestral human, is that we would have this. Since we humans are innately conscious, dogs can more rapidly progress in their spiritual evolution through that relationship.
So you're going to be laughing, but I'm seeing the quote, and this is like a circling around it and helping these people to live in peace and love.
Yeah.
With all of your gifts, whatever, it means mind-blowing. I mean, words can.
It's by understanding this, it also helps we as people to step into being of greater service to our dog companions.
Yeah.
Okay, so that explains, he's explaining why this is a deeper relationship, I think, than we've ever have really considered for the most part. Did you want to say anything about that, Bessie?
I just think that the whole fact that, first of all, we accepting the doggy has a soul, and then we are accepting that there were alternative approaches to really being able to help our fur babies. I just think that the whole thing is fascinating, and it's just like I'm like so beyond fascinated. And I will keep repeating this word because with words I can't even describe it. I think that it's so special, and just we need to be open-minded to this.
Yes, yeah. And so our last video, it's a 6-minute video. It goes into more depth. There's a whole bunch more. We got almost 2 hours of Jade talking that day. So in the next couple of series that we're going to do, we're going to be even exploring it more. He's going to be available at different times when we do something live, or, it's all going to just keep going. But if you wanted to play the does it mean for a dog to lose their soul? What are we meaning by that? And is it completely lost, or is it just pieces or parts of the soul that are fragmented? So I wanted him to speak to that.
Yeah, it's much akin to what happens with us humans when we undergo a trauma. The trauma is that there's a threat to some basic innate qualities of our life, be it a dog or ourselves. And that might be our sense of security, our sense of safety, trust, our innocence, our sexuality, whatever it may be, that there's a threat to that. And in order to protect that sacred quality of ourself, in order to protect our sense of trust, we disengage it. And so that's the loss of the soul. It's the loss of that part of the soul that carries our trust, our security, whatever it is that has been damaged or threatened. And so that aspect of the soul retreats into what we call the underworld, the dream realm, and resides there. So these elements of the soul are disengaged, and with it, that part of their consciousness. Just as when we are dreaming, it's real. It's only when we wake up that we go, oh, whew, that was just a dream. But when we're in the dream, it's absolutely real. So it is with a dog. When the dog retreats into the underworld soul, what it experiences is absolutely real. Because the dream realm is, as we know, is highly symbolic, mythic in nature. What occurs is that the dog's fears appear as monsters in the dream. Their guilts and shames will be these lurking, ghastly beasts that leap out at them. And so it's very real for the dog. It's very frightening. And so they seek to escape even deeper. The deeper they go, the more and more their soul is disengaged. And so in doing a soul retrieval for a dog, what I do is send my spirit in to their dream realm. So I partake of their dream and call upon their innate spiritual forces, the primary one being the dire wolf, that is the progenitor of all dogs as we know them now. Dire wolf was the original. And so the spiritual presence of the dire wolf is the guardian, the protector of all this progeny, of all the dogs that exist now. And so I call upon that one because, as speaking as an ancestral human, I'm speaking to the dire wolf as the ancestral dog and saying, hey, one of your people needs help here. One of your dogs needs help. And immediately he responds as, yes, let me take care of him. Let me see what he needs. And so these emotionally traumatized aspects of the dog, maybe it's fear, and maybe that's perceived as being chased or being stuck in a quicksand or whatever it might be, is continually traumatizing because there is no time in that realm. The dog just continues to experience that as occurring now. And so what I'm able to do under the direction of direwolf is to call upon some element or aspect of the dog's experience that is wonderful and beneficial. It could have been a child who's come up to the dog in its life and said, oh, hey, puppy, how you doing? And romps and plays with it and is kind. That kindness appears in the dog's dream realm as perhaps a field of flowers. And so I will take the soul of the dog that is locked in fear. I'll release it from the quagmire, the quicksand of fear, and take it for a walk into the field of flowers, where it's then able to chase butterflies and romp freely and enjoy the beauty and the kindness that has been shown to it. And with that, the fear has been neutralized and something new has been presented in its place, that of kindness, happiness, and joy. Then the soul of the dog can be brought home back into embodiment, and no longer will the dog exhibit the abreactive behaviors associated with fear and trauma, but will begin responding from that place of joy and happiness and chasing butterflies in the field of flowers. So kind of a round movement there. That's what I mean by the soul of the dog being lost and how we engage it and how we bring it to resolution. Does that make sense?
It finally did, yes, the soul of, yes, yes, it finally did. The soul of the dog has been lost and found. I am very, I comprehend sometimes with pictures.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way, it was the photographer brain in me. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. And just real quickly, I want to share with you, when Jade does this, he goes into that in the dream time. And so, especially if it's all being done remotely, he sends an email. And even though he was here, he sent me an email. I want to just share with you just a tiny bit of this huge email that that you, as a human, as the person in relationship with this animal, you read over and over and you get the deeply mythical symbolic meanings behind it. And that's where the power is. Myth is extremely powerful. So he says, in the mythic perception of Kitty, what appears is, one, a gray, living, but emotionless human corpse that signifies that person is being unloving. Two, the other thing he saw, a kind elderly person who coos and talks sweet and then whirls around with a butcher knife in their hand, slashing and drawing blood. This image is the soul of the dog, is indicating that a person who is sometimes kind, but you can never really trust. And there was a person like that in Kitty's life, and which was just so profound that he picked up on it in the dream. This person is prone to violent outbursts. We will go into more of that in the women's thing. Number three, a large, frightful, dark, shaggy-haired, feigned creature that attacks from the shadows, biting and tearing Kitty's flesh. This is the monster of having suffered an attack by another dog. So that is exactly what happened when she was attacked. So he goes on to give you, as the human to this dog, the things you can do, and it heals you as a person too. Just know there's a lot of substance to this. He's available to talk. You can, and again, we're going to be giving you the links to where to find him and how to get a hold of him. If you have a dog that you would like to have some of this deep work done with, he will make himself available.
And it's really very interesting how what Jade is saying, that the fur baby, or the dog, because I actually even asked you, and I'm like, how about kitty cats? And he was very specific that whatever we are talking, this is for doggies. So that's one thing, friends, I want to just share with you. And so what really it's interesting how subconsciously the dog going to dream, lives over and over and over again the shock and the trauma, and then with Jade method, slowly but surely, he changes the dream, the bad experience, to something really beautiful and nice. And this is how you practically heal the soul. And I just think, and again, as regular humans, or at least for me, I don't know about you, Allie, it's kind of, even sometimes it's hard to comprehend, but then I started thinking, and it makes sense if over and over, let's say if you tripped and let's say you hurt your hand and you over and over go and live in this nightmare, I'm tripping again, and this over dramatize you, then suddenly you just have to find a solution. And the solution is, because I remember writing this chart, and this is one thing we will show you in our next video, in our next podcast, it's that it's practically you are substituting, slowly switching with Jade's method and the soul retrieval from these bad nightmares to the new like really beautiful memories and dreams. And this is how you heal the fur babies. So yes, doable with person like him on your side, and just in believing that it's possible. And I'm always a true believer that as long as it's not health and life situation, nothing to lose, only to try. And especially seeing now Kitty, and I remember when we talked about it, she was waking up and she wasn't herself and etc. Just seeing her changing and knowing how she changed and improved, it's very powerful.
Yeah, and all of that is just so right on. And what I do want to emphasize here too, the type of person, the type of shaman that Jade is he believes in you becoming empowered. He's not a guru, he's not someone that just is going to take it on and do it himself. He has some special skills and abilities that he's, had he was born that way for the most part, and then for the last 60 years he's had apprenticeships and he's done the work. So he's a great source, for going in and getting this initial thing done. Then he teaches you, then he gives you the empowerment back. And then some of the things that I brought into what creates a stable dog and a stable relationship with a dog, all of this is going to give you the power back to have this very incredible relationship. And ultimately, just like it is for us as humans, and what I'll be sharing again in the women's thing, is that the dark things that we go through, and this is so true for the pets in our relationship with them, the hard things, the things that are tragedies and that are painful, it ultimately makes us stronger in the relationship, stronger, and we get things from it. Would never choose to go through it, but once you do, there's a lot of good that can come out of it. And that's what Vassy and I are about as we unfold all of these things that we're going to be sharing with you, not just about dog soul retrieval, but about a lot of things that we want to bring hope and healing and love to the world, around the world.
Yeah, around the world. And I'm into this, and it's I completely agree with you. I second you, and I know that one thing I told to my husband, I said, honey, you better remember, my friend Allie and Kitty and Mr. Jade. And I have to be honest with you, after you told me about him and a little before we met, I myself, friends, and I'm very honest, so I'm very vulnerable. And I always say the way I feel it. It's like I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, so now I'm meeting with this incredible, very special person, very humbled. And here the little Bulgarian showing up in the picture. I mean, it's so funny. But I was like a little worried. I'm like, what should I expect now? Maybe he thinks that I'm not qualified, but who knows? I mean, you never know. Mr. J was amazing. And just the way he explained everything. And it's like, I typically don't really cry when I'm doing any type of interview. I mean, obviously, I probably have done over maybe now 400, because we have 220 plus podcasts, and I have done a bunch of lives and educational videos. So you assume by now I shouldn't really be emotional, but I cried. I'm like, and then Ali, she even showed me one of the pictures, me crying. I'm like, great, people will see Vassy crying. But why I was so vulnerable, it's because I really saw that, at least for me, this is an alternative ways to help people when they're fur babies. And ultimately, with whatever we do and whatever PetPix, Ali, even myself as a photographer, we just want to help people and their fur babies. And what we really loved about Jade was one of the things he explained to me, and I'm like, Jade, I'm really so sorry. I still cannot understand it. He said, don't worry, Vassy. It took me a little time, but but now I can explain it to you, even for me. So my point is, these things, they take time. So even if for now, it's like you may say, it doesn't resonate with me. I don't even know why I'm watching this or listening to this. I would encourage you, friends. This is one of these podcast episodes and one of this series where I would encourage you, watch it over and over again. Maybe take a notepad and write down. And if you still don't understand it, Ali, myself, and Jade, we're here for you. And believe me, but this is a very, very special. And that's why I even, after we spoke, that's why I said, okay, let's air it. Let's, give this to the world in a way. You may say yes, you may say no, but I truly believe that, the way, Jade can help and his method. And he's so generous to even say, I will teach you pet parents. And,
Yes.
We know that there are a lot of professions which I completely respect. They would say, oh, no, I'm not going to teach. I need to do it. But even Jade said, I'm going to teach you. And even Jade said, Vasi and Ali a year ago, that wasn't the right time. Now it's the time, because
Yeah.
we see that now people are becoming a little more open to new, I would say, new old ways of alternative, because it has been in the videos you're going to hear. I mean, that has been here around for thousands of years, you know,
Yes.
for hundreds of years, but just we as an individuals and, you know, maybe weren't open to it. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will leave it as this, but just please, friends, be open-minded. Just be open-minded. And maybe if it's not for you now, and hopefully you never and your baby will have to go through a trauma, but I'm sure
Yeah.
that somewhere deeply inside will resonate with you. And sometimes this can be even simply going outside to walk your fur baby, and your fur baby saw a car and got scared. I mean, this can be from many different aspects to have to be traumatized. You know, we don't
Yeah.
need to go through this experience, you know, and what you and you know, Kitty went. So
Yes.
you know, so
Yes.
that's what it is. You know, it's really, that's how I see it.
So as we start closing up, you know, we'll have all the links, we'll have the food, we'll have everything where you can see what we're doing. But I think ultimately what is happening, as my relationship has developed with Vasi, and as we both have gotten, you know, we're both kind of, you know, we
But
see big pictures.
yes, we are besties.
You know, we have a vision for bringing healing and love and good things to the world, literally to the world. That's not just a phrase. And so, you know, if you can believe in anything in this whole interview, this whole episode, believe in what you've known about Vasi all this time, and what you're starting to know about me is that our hearts and our intent is to do really good things. We want to spread love around the world, totally, and we're doing it through pets and our relationship with pets.
I'm into this, exactly, and I really cannot thank you enough. I cannot thank enough also to Mr. Jade for, you know, being with us, sharing with us his wisdom. And again, friends, all of his information and Allie's information and Kitty will be below in the description of the podcast, or if you're watching this is a video. And please share, please go and say hi, Jade, hi, Allie, and just know that you're not lonely, that we are here with you, for you and your fur babies. And again, pets are family, and fur babies have souls, and fur babies, you know, they are our kids. They're our kids, and as kids, you know, we always try to do the best possible. And I know that each of you do it, because I see it on a daily basis, and it brings so much joy. And this is message for those of you, friends, who maybe feel stuck, who maybe experience some of the symptoms, and just who are a little more open-minded and know that there might be another way, and why not to give it a chance. So I cannot thank you enough, Ali. Is there anything else before we are done you would like to share?
You know, we've got a lot more coming, and you know, reach out to Vasi, reach out to me. My stuff will be on there too. Reach out to Jade. If you happen to be living in the northeast in the month of July, then check where his events are. He's going to be there. It would be an incredible experience for you to get to go experience what he does with the fireside talks and tells and storytelling that he's doing. So you know, look him up and give him a message if you think you're going to be in that area.
I love it. And then, friends, he's also coming into Florida area. In I know. So I'm actually very excited because we're going to meet him. You know, I'm going to meet finally Ali in person, Jade in person. You know, also it's going to be a reunion. And stay tuned, friends, because a lot more is coming. So thank you again.
And Kitty will be there also. So if you've ever wanted to meet Kitty, she will be coming.
Yeah, Kitty, it's coming. And I'm really excited because I'll meet you both in person. I'll meet Jade in person and much more to come. So friends, have hope. I really, truly, really, really know and hope that this podcast video, it's really just, made a spark. And you will see now from completely different angle. You know what? Why not to try? What to lose? Let me help. But not only help your fur babies, but also help people around us who might be in similar situation, and they may not even be aware, because this is something some of us are not aware that they went through trauma. I mean, again, 2 years ago, I was in a completely different stage in my life. I never even thought that such a thing exists. Unfortunately, it does, but I know together we can make the best of it and just really go, like Jade said, and see these flowers and live around flowers and live this beautiful world, this beautiful life, because your friends and your babies deserve it. So see you soon. Thank you. And my boy is saying yes, ruff. See you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you got inspired and you learned some new tips and tricks. Please show us your support. Leave us a review. Share with your friends about us and also about our awesome speaker. You can find all the links and information below in the description of the podcast episode. We have new podcast episode every Tuesday and Thursday. Come and join us in our social media platforms under PetPix Academy. We have a free training every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time in our Instagram, and also we have 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time in our Facebook group. If you'd like to learn more about our upcoming courses or membership, check our website, PetPix Academy, and the truth is that we have a lot of resources, so please enjoy it. They're very helpful. So thank you very much for your support, friends. You mean the world to me and the rest of the community, and let's together have fun, create amazing memories, and just enjoy it. Thank you, have a great day, and see you in our next episode. This is Vasi, your host and founder of PetPix Academy.